Interesting.
What it is, every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors. The number...
I'm mostly on the left, ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic feds because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
leadership perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't ever talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
We just got this in literally 2 minutes ago, but Fox News can confirm that Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead following Israeli strikes against his compound and location earlier today. A senior Israeli official confirming this news. Earlier tonight, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu describing the strikes not only against the supreme leader, but against much of the Iranian leadership. We know the breakdown in strikes focused on leadership for the Israelis and military targets initially for the Americans, and has since expanded as this campaign is expected to continue in the days and possibly even weeks ahead. As we're looking at the current situation across the region, we're also gathering new information on what the Israelis have been doing against Iran. We are told from a military official that the largest Israeli Air Force sortie against any country in the world was conducted this morning with 200 Israeli fighter jets targeting 500 different locations, dropping hundreds of munitions on a variety of different targets inside of Iran. The Israelis, while they were going after leadership, were also looking to neutralize the incoming ballistic missile fire that has targeted their country throughout the day. Sirens sounded across Israel throughout the afternoon, sending millions of people into bomb shelters. But again, the takeaway here, the Israelis have killed Iran's supreme leader. That
targeted by these attacks. Can you confirm that the Ayatollah is still the leader and in power of Iran right now?
Thanks to God, they are all safe and sound.
They're all safe and sound. And are they still communicating and running the country as we speak and determining which counterstrikes and military operations are coming from Iran at this moment?
Well, I can assure you that the system is working because our system is very sophisticated. It is rooted in our identity, and it is based on a popular.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Ray Mars.
Lamb Chop.
It's Mia.
I'm Enzo.
And tonight on the new party, we are giving the breaking news update regarding Israel and the United States bombing Iran. Rumor has it the supreme leader is dead. However, Iran is saying something totally different. Lamb, you are our geopolitical expert here tonight. Why are we hearing two different stories?
I mean, Iran's going to try to remain as strong as possible as long as they can, right? I think the IRGC is going to do pretty much everything in its power to kind of remain in power over Iran. I think that's why we're seeing as many random attacks against civilian targets that we are. They're essentially throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at multiple Gulf states all day today. Allegedly, Israeli forces were there to pull Khamenei's body out of the rubble. I don't know how true that is. All I know is that at this time, there were videos and photos of Khamenei's body that both Netanyahu and Donald Trump has confirmed. I'm assuming how things usually work, which I'm sure military people can attest to. If something of this high target, depending on the state of the body, they will probably send it off to do some kind of lab testing for DNA, which I'm sure will probably take a few days. But I haven't seen any photos, so until that happens, until I see a photo or an official DNA test, I'm skeptical, but I'm hopeful.
Gray, as somebody that actually saw combat on the panel, why is there so many conflicting reports? What's your thoughts?
They want to keep things classified. Me, myself, I was active when they killed Osama bin Laden. So they tricked us. They had us go to the field, and we just were supposedly training. And then in the middle of the night, after they did it, they woke all of us up, and each of us had to go to different little places to guard. I can't say everything, but they only tell certain people certain stuff. And like I said on here before, the biggest leak of military information, Bradley Manning, me and this person were in the same unit. So they try to control information based on strategic military movements.
Yeah. And Enzo, you said that you have something you'd like to share with us regarding rumors of a UFO. What's going on with that? You can share the screen.
All right, so I still have the screen shared.
Oh, okay, wait, my bad. No, here you go. Sorry.
So Lamb showed me this earlier. Apparently, from what it goes, Al Jazeera accidentally captured a triangular craft intercepting an Iran missile over Israel, the TR-3B. Let's hope they deploy advanced tech to make this war swift with minimal casualties. And apparently there in the left corner is what they perceive it to be. And here you see it in the video. I don't know what the hell it is or anything, but I just think it was wild that the videos like this are coming out right after Trump says they're going to declassify UFO records. This like ironically just pops up out of nowhere. So who knows how true this is, but
That's interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
But there were like hundreds of missiles that they're saying being fired off as we speak. Israel is being hit. Many countries in the Middle East are being hit. Let me play this clip. This is a Fox News correspondent in Tel Aviv.
You're going to see behind us, we got to move. There's a lot of incoming fire right now toward Tel Aviv. And so just stay with us. We got to go. Our security. So we're going to stay live with you, but we got to move toward hard cover here. The city's getting hit very hard. Come with me.
Mia, we played a clip Thursday night. You heard a rabbi talking to our Israel representative for the country, Mike Huckabee, that said, we're excited. You know, this is what we do. We go in the bomb shelters. We're okay with that. What's your thoughts on all of that now that they are getting hit? I have more clips to show that there were cars and buildings blown up in Israel. So they're not intercepting all of the missiles coming through.
I mean, as the man said, I guess they're excited now. They have a reason to be excited. I don't know, man. Some people got the Super Bowl. I mean, some people got FIFA. Other people got bombs. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I wouldn't be excited over that. I don't make the rules. I mean, I don't make the rules. But I guess over there, they're excited for that. I will say, as a collective, as a people, this is something that they're, I'm sure, very desensitized to. They're very much used to it. Out in Kansas and having to evacuate into your backyard because there's a tornado. You're very desensitized to it. Is it scary? Yes, but you're used to it. It's like riding a bike. So, I mean, I guess they're getting what they wanted. I mean, they want Iran gone, and they don't mind being in bomb shelters. So, I mean, kudos to them. Kill two birds with one stone.
And for the first time, we're actually seeing bombs going to the UAE. Many people were making fun of people that moved to the UAE because no one would have thought that they would have gotten bombed. Let's watch.
У нас тут просто в небе какой-то что-то сгорело, смотри. Там, по-моему, какой-то огонь. Там что-то прям за буршем сейчас загорелось. И очень сильный взрыв был. Demedim buraya vuracak.
So guys, sorry, like I'll tell you about the clip. This is the world famous hotel in the UAE. This is a very famous hotel, very high-end hotel. I think one of the most expensive hotels in the country. So the fact that it got hit is a big thing. Gray, as someone that served over there, would you have thought that they would be attacking all the other Middle Eastern countries? They essentially have attacked multiple Middle Eastern countries. It wasn't just Israel. It wasn't just the UAE. It was Bahrain as well. So what's your thoughts?
As far as am I surprised that they attack other Middle Eastern countries? I don't know. I don't know what Trump is thinking. I don't know what Trump planned.
Trump didn't do this. This is Iran's retaliation. Let's be clear.
Are you saying Iran?
Iran has retaliated against the UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Syria, and Iraq. The other thing is that I don't know if everyone knows on the panel, they've also hit our defense system that can predict where the missiles are. So we really don't know where the missiles are going because they've hit it. It seems pretty targeted. What's your thoughts?
As far as Iran attacking other people, attacking the UAE makes sense. The UAE is in America's pocket. Trump has good relations with the UAE, so Iran is aware of that, and they do have other allies over there. So I'm pretty sure they just shooting wild, and whomever committed the crime towards them, they'll worry about the consequences later. Let's attack everybody who we think had something to do with it, and whoever didn't, we'll worry about it later.
Lamb, were you expecting this kind of reaction with them attacking all the other countries? This is, I mean, the good thing is all the other countries are on our side.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, the funny thing is that Saudi Arabia, I believe, during the first round of talks, was trying to get us to push for a deal, and now they're flying side by side, us and Israel, because they decided they wanted to attack Saudi Arabia. I mean, I talked to a lot of people like that were literally in DC and working in DC for this, that were having conversations, and I didn't hear a single person ever mention, well, we think if due to retaliations, Iran is going to hit all of the Gulf countries. It was always Iran's going to probably retaliate against our military bases. And that was about it. And it was never Iran was going to attack the Burj Al Arab or now the Burj Khalifa or any of these other things or the Palm Hotel. It was never a civilian thing. It was always expected to be they retaliated against military bases like how they did in June of 2025, and they just thought it was going to be more extensive.
yeah, I mean, and that wasn't the only site they hit. They've also hit the airport in Dubai. Let's watch.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. They're trying to keep people on the ground from leaving.
Well, I think, my bad. It doesn't show the hit, but basically, guys, hundreds of people are trying to escape Dubai, coming back to America. A lot of expats live in Dubai. Go ahead, Enzo.
I got another video from Dubai. This was posted an hour ago of
Perfect,
missiles
thank you.
flying past the Burj Khalifa.
Go ahead, yeah. I'm going to mute it so we can all talk. Enzo, what's your thoughts on all of this? Were you shocked that you could just like let it loop through on all of this?
My thoughts are basically what Lamb says. I thought we were Iran was going to retaliate against our military bases as well as our partners' military bases in the region, not go literally nuclear and just start swinging at everybody in the Middle East. And just, it's like, all right, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to make it worth going down. Everybody's going to try to fight me now. Like that's what I'm looking at this as. It's absolutely insanity. They just lost all control. They're like, all right, fuck it. You Oprah over here. You get a missile to every Gulf nation. And now remarkably, you have every Gulf nation and every nation in the Middle East agreeing to go after one nation instead of causing an uproar of all the Gulf nations going against the attacker, basically. Which I mean would be like Israel and the United States. They're going after Iran. So I mean, I think this is a win-win-win across the board for how this went down.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing that. So basically, they've also hit Israel pretty bad. This was from earlier. We can watch this clip. This was Israel. This was Israel, guys. This was just an hour or two ago. This is apartment buildings. These are cars that we can see on the ground getting hit. We knew it was going to be missiles coming in, but I mean, Lamb, you studied this closely, and then I'll have Mia go. Have you ever seen this many missiles hit Israel in this short of time? Like, what's your thoughts? Because you know more about it.
I mean, even during the 7-Day War, or even during the height of the, it took days. And I mean, even then, it wasn't that volume and that quickly. There were rumors that China had given them supersonic weapons, and by the time that it took for them to retaliate and to launch and it to get into Israel, I would assume some of those weapons were used. But I mean, they just threw essentially the kitchen sink at the Iron Dome, and unfortunately, we did get an update from CENTCOM about 3 hours ago. By the grace of God, there have been no casualties or injuries on any U.S. military installations that were attacked. Again, that was as of like 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, it's an evolving situation, but CENTCOM has said that U.S. military installations have taken minimal damage and there hasn't been any casualties.
Yeah, there luckily, well, I heard that there was someone that died in Tel Aviv, a woman.
I don't know about Israeli casualties. All I know is about like the statement regarding U.S. service member casualties.
This is a better video, and then I'm gonna get Mia in here. This is the damage that we're seeing.
Saturday night around 11 p.m. We're here on scene in the central district of Israel. You can see behind me there is severe missile strike that hit a building complex. We're still currently working now with the other forces on the field to make sure that we can take out the fire. And we're still extracting at this moment patients from both buildings you can see behind me. We're still working on the buildings that are surrounded and are still ablaze.
Mia, what's your thoughts? Would you have predicted that it would be this bad this soon?
I mean, Israel's getting exactly what Israel wants. They want a war with Iran. They want a regime change, and they want the United States to do it. I mean, you can't call out to the devil and expect him not to answer. And then the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So if you think for a second, Russia and China and maybe even North Korea aren't going to aid Iran just because they can and they have the means and the motivation to. I mean, come on. Why would they not? They're going to. I mean, I don't think this is going to be quick and dirty. I think this might be prolonged. Hopefully it's not. But I mean, like I said, you call it to the devil, he's going to answer. And this is what Israel wanted. Israel's getting exactly what they want. They don't care they don't care the amount of civilians that die on their soil. They want what they want, and they're getting what they want. I mean, kudos to them. I hope they're happy. Hope those bomb shelters are great for them.
Gray, I'm going to play this clip. This is JD Vance, and this is what he had to say in June of last year when we were leading up to a potential conflict.
Very clear that we don't want a regime change. We do not want to protract this or build this out any more than it's already been built out. We want to end their nuclear program, and then we want to talk to the Iranians about a long-term settlement here. We believe very strongly that there are two pathways. There's a pathway where Iran continues to fund terrorism, continues to try to build a nuclear program, attacks American troops. That's the bad pathway for Iran, and it will be met with overwhelming force. There's another pathway on the table here. There's a pathway where Iran integrates itself into the international community, stops funding terrorism, and stops trying to pursue a nuclear weapon. This is a reset. This is an opportunity for the Iranians to take the smart path. We certainly hope that they will.
So, Gray, when we were covering this, we talked about Trump and promises that he made. No new wars. I remember that was like a big thing. What is your thoughts now that we're seeing this? Did Trump deliver on his promise, or did circumstances cause this to happen?
It's another video just like that of Trump basically saying that he didn't want any new wars, and it's a video of was a tweet of Trump saying that he didn't want any new wars. But what I'll say is that I'm not just going to blame Republicans. All politicians lie just to get into office, and then they change exactly what they said they were going to do once they get there and do what's best for their donors. And that's what I feel like Trump is in the exact same situation. But I'm going to play Charlie Kirk's response to what he was going to say was going to happen with Iran or doing a regime change in Iran.
Israel and Iran, and potentially the United States. On one side is the Lindsey Graham, John Bolton types, where they are actively calling for regime change. Here is Lindsey Graham. This is just lunacy. This kind of analysis is not helpful. This kind of approach, this kind of argument, it has nothing to do with nuclear weapons at this point. This is now that we want to go all in and take out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen and start a new chapter in the Middle East. And that sounds good, doesn't it? But what have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a whiteboard rarely happens. What you think theoretically is going to occur there might be unintended and unforeseen consequences, especially when you're talking about a country 2.5 times the size of Texas. It has 90 million people and was an ancient and great power with well over a dozen ethnic groups. You have underground Christians. You don't really have many Jews left in Persia. But also you have secular younger Persians. Who's going to run the country exactly, Lindsey Graham? This sounds like Hillary Rodham Clinton in Libya. So I'm pointing to the first extreme right now, the neoconservative extreme. The we must go take off the head of the snake right now. Play cut 285.
Be all in, President Trump, in helping Israel eliminate the nuclear threat. If we need to provide bombs to Israel, provide bombs. If we need to fly planes with Israel, do joint operations. But here's the bigger question. Wouldn't the world be better off if the Ayatollahs went away and replaced by something better? Wouldn't Iran be better off? It's time to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen. Let's close that chapter soon and start a new chapter in the Mideast, one of tolerance, hope, and peace.
Okay, that sounds good, but that's pathologically insane. I'm sorry, it is. How do you know it's going to be better? Yeah, the Ayatollah is awful. But maybe he's one of the few guys that can keep that country together and not have a 90 million person civil war. Lindsey Graham is so consistently out of his mind, it's hard to even comprehend. Iran is hugely diverse. It is a massive country. Do the people agitating for war even know that? Because be clear, regime change is war. Just to understand, regime change is not like changing the head coach at the Chicago Bears. Israel and Iran and potentially the United
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Enzo, you're probably the biggest Charlie Kirk fan I personally knew or know. That was like the most devastated and affected when he was unalived. Luckily, we've been pretty lucky when it came to Venezuela. It hasn't really been anything after we've captured Maduro. Will we be this lucky this time? And why do you defer from Charlie? And what do you think he would think currently?
I personally think so, because the way that this went down, we were there for less than a day already. We took out the leader. We basically took out the leader. I'm going to go with the news and say that he is unalive at this point. We took out the head people there, and I'm not looking at this as a regime change at all. I'm looking at it like I've been saying for a couple weeks now. I want a regime annihilation, to get the regime out of there completely. And like exactly what Donald Trump said last night in his speech to America, let the Iranian people put in who they want. I would like to see safeguards and security for them to allow to do that, not nation building like we've done in the Middle East before, where it never works out. Or installing somebody in there like we've done before that never works out. Let the people do it and give them the resources to do it. And I can honestly see that happening, because we've seen it already, basically with Venezuela already. We didn't do a regime change there. We took Maduro out, let them figure their shit out, and it's working out so far. So I'm looking at this as the exact same thing. And I really realistically just don't see any downside to how this is going about right now. We'll see how long this takes. I'm personally going to say that the United States is going to be in a conflict and Israel is going to be in a conflict with Iran, possibly into next weekend. And that's going to be it. I'm looking at realistically looking at this. This is going to be done very, very quickly. We've already chopped the head off the snake. And now you just got to deal with the remnants. That's it.
I want to push back.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to push back. So we talked about this earlier in the, you know what I mean? We talked about this earlier. My thing is like, Charlie had a very good point. Like, if we do, whether it's a regime change or regime annihilation, there is 90 million people there, almost 100 million people, and a lot of them very ethnically diverse and they're diverse religions. So who's going to choose who? And then who's going to accept who, right? So you have you have tribes, like we're dealing with tribal mentality, right? You know, these are tribes, and we all expect them to just assimilate democracy somehow. Agree when they've never really agreed on anything. The only thing they agree on is they don't like the Ayatollah right now. But other than that, they don't agree on anything. They're all coming from different angles. And then somehow we're going to set up security forces. We're going to set up bases. We're going to say, hey, now you're Western. Now you do this and you have to accept this. and then we're going to hope they accept it and they don't fucking fight each other in a power vacuum. That's going to happen, because we've seen what a power vacuum does when you destabilize and you pull out. That's what we had in Afghanistan and Iraq. When we left, it created a power vacuum, and then the terrorists, the real terrorists, moved in and took up the spot because they had the means, the motivation, and the artillery to do so. So what is going to prevent the same thing happening in Iran when we decide to leave, when we say, hey, you guys are good, and then we just evacuate ourselves and we create another power vacuum in the Middle East?
Well, see, the majority of the people that are in Iran are Persian. They're the ones that are indigenous to the land. The Ayatollah, as well as everybody that's taken over for the last 47 years, are Muslim. They don't assimilate well. That's what's taking over. You give the land and the country back to the Persian people. And from what I've heard and read, is that they want to put in the son of the Shah as a temporary leader, per se, until everything gets going, until they can get on their own and vote in who they want. So that's to be the figurehead of the country at that point. Like, again, that's my idea of what's going to go on, and I'm being hopeful about it. If things go wrong, like I've said about 1,000 other things, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first person to say I'm wrong and this was stupid. But until that happens, I'm going to be hopeful and say this is what's going to happen. The Persian people are going to get their country back. They were westernized before, up until 79 when the Islamic Revolution happened, and they were happy. They were free. That's how they wanted the country to be, even though the United States went in there in the 50s and installed the Shah. For 20-something years, the country was happy, and that's the direction they wanted to go. So looking back on it, the majority, it hasn't been that long. It's only been 40 years. It's only 4 generations of people that still probably are alive that remember the times before the Ayatollah came in, and that's what they're going to want for the future of the country. So, like I said, I'm just going to be hopeful about this and look at everything like I just laid out.
Well, Alex Jones is not hopeful.
I'm with Alex, man.
This is what he had to say.
I'm sorry. I don't think Alex.
Secretly love him. Come on.
Right when the U.S.-Israeli attack, basically going to full war with Iran, began. And I've been up ever since then, really thinking about what I was going to say. So there's a lot of different layers to this. Most people are just down to, oh, we shouldn't have regime change. Oh, Trump said he wasn't going to do regime change. And people that want regime change, hey, the Iranian people are under a dictatorship, let's help them. So that's kind of the main debate going on, and I'll get to that in a moment. But what you have to understand is that a lot of this is declassified. Project for the American Century, the neocons, heavily allied with Benjamin Netanyahu, who was in power back on 9/11, staged 9/11, blew up World Trade Center 7, planted bombs in the towers. We even know the Israeli group that did it. But it was a joint operation with George Herbert Walker Bush, Rumsfeld, and Benjamin Netanyahu. And I've made films on it, written books. It's just established.
This is why
known
he's being
fact
sued
by
into
any
oblivion, because he's a
any
fucking nut.
military people. This is just a known fact.
Lamb chop.
We know the names. We know who did it. I mean, my God, the Israelis up.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a video. Breaking number one just tweeted it.
Demolitions experts that are part of an art project, and they've got big boxes that have the plastic explosive blasting caps, right there. I mean, they're not even. It's like Acme explosive, Wile E. Coyote. Talk about flaunting it in your face. You got Ludnig with record put options at his company.
Oh Lord, he really all over the place, honey. I had to end that early. You got it pulled up, Lamb?
Yeah, I have the breaking number one tweet.
Go ahead.
So, per Iranian state media confirms that Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has been assassinated in an airstrike.
Wow. So I wonder why they're okay with that coming out now, and why they weren't hyping it up. Maybe to calm down the speed of the missiles. I don't know.
That
Maybe they're in on it.
or to try to assess if who's still alive to appoint a leader. That could also have been the thing.
True, but maybe they're in on it. Maybe his homies are like, man, I don't want to be fighting no Trump, and just decided it's just easier to, you know what I mean, feed a little bit of intel. It wouldn't be the first time somebody's Judas somebody else. I mean, it's pretty common.
Well, I don't even know what to say. There are people that are saying that we're panicking, not to worry. This is a friend of the show, Kaizen, and this is what he had to say.
the start of World War III. It's not Iraq 2.0. There is a risk of backfiring, and we should be honest about that. The question is it worth the risk? Of course, no one wants war, but you know what else no one wants? The Islamic Republic, which controls Iran, slaughtering tens of thousands of its own people. The Islamic Republic, which has been playing a game of nuclear poker with the world for 2 decades, bluffing for another 2. Hamas, which hurt both Palestinians and Israelis on October 7th, continuing to receive money and weapons from the Islamic Republic. There will never be peace in the Middle East while the Islamic Republic is in power. That's why almost every other country, Muslim and non-Muslim, Arab and non-Arab, wants them gone. And you know what happened when we fired at them this morning? They fired back at Jordan, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. We fired at them. They fired missiles at their neighbors. But okay, we're thousands of miles away. Why does that concern us? It concerns us because China, which is competing with us whether we like it or not, props up the Islamic Republic with money in exchange for oil. It's our concern because there's been an anti-American axis at play for decades. And while we've been fighting each other, they've been fighting us. So let's talk about the risk. If you're scared of World War III with China and Russia, you needn't be. We already tested their alliance last June when we bombed Iran's nuclear facilities. China and Russia drew words, but not weapons. A year later, and they're doing the same thing because their relationship with Iran is transactional. And without them, Iran is weak. The bigger risk is Iraq 2.0. But Iran is not Iraq. Iraq is a third world country created by Britain and France whose people didn't want us there. Iran is a descendant of Persia, one of the most successful civilizations in history, with a sophisticated, capable, young population who wants a new government. And they've been asking for help. Let's be precise about the errors of Iraq. It wasn't that we struck, it's that we occupied. And we can choose not to do that here. We can support the Iranian people by air and by sea and leave the rest up to them. And that's the biggest risk. We're creating a power vacuum and we don't know who will fill it. But for the Iranian people, after 47 years under the Islamic Republic, selling kidneys for food, what do they have to lose? It's easy to say you don't want war. No one does. But the honest question isn't whether you want war. It's whether what's good for humanity is worth risking it.
Gray, what's your thoughts? What do you think? Is this Iraq? As somebody that actually did go to Iraq, is this Iraq 2.0? Do you see similarities, differences? What do you think?
First off, shout out to Kaizen. Kaizen was actually the first guest on the new party. And Kaizen, I'm going to tell you, Nora hated you. I'm just going to expose it. She hated you.
Oh my God. Way to throw Nora out on the bus.
I'm going to tell you why I hated him. I hated him because we was talking about one topic and the motherfucker couldn't stay on the fucking topic. Like, you would guess, stick to the topic. And he just kept going on. I'm just like, bro, like. But that was why. He had an agenda. And his agenda was to sell Trump to liberals because he was a former liberal. And I don't like when people have agendas. That's what it said to me. Just like the people in the chat are saying, he has an agenda. But keep going.
Kaiser's a Harvard graduate and an Emmy winner. In the intro, when he says, oh, the stuff about Gray, that's Kaiser in that video. But what he's saying, it sounds like he is saying stuff for the government because he posted it literally nearly as soon as it happened. And his friend is friends with Elon Musk. And that's how he went viral. Elon Musk and Donald Trump both share his stuff. And then ever since then, he's been in the political sphere. But I want to play this funny clip from Tim Dillon from my time because I want y'all to see this.
Talking about Iran since 2001.
Iran.
And in Long Island, you know, during the Iraq War, when everyone, including me, thought that was a great idea. Of course, my defense is that I was 17 and on cocaine. You know, you would bump into people in Dunkin' Donuts and they would go, yeah, the real problem's Iran. They're going to go into Iran after Iraq. That's where they're going to go, to Iran. Because these people, these gremlins, these creatures that walk the earth, have been filled with the idea that Iran is going to take their Levitt house in Levittown, Long Island, and that in order to stop that, we need a major war. This is what we've sold all these people, by the way. We've sold them this idea that, like, all of the threats that you're going to encounter in your life are from outside of the country, and it's caves. There are these people in caves plotting to destroy, but they're also really super sophisticated and brilliant and in caves, but really smart. And they're religious fundamentalists, but also futuristic tech geniuses. And they're able to do all kinds of things, like attack our country. And on the day when NORAD had scrambled all the planes, they picked the exact right moment. It's wild what these people are able to do from a cave. It's really amazing. It is unreal what they're able to pull off from a cave. I mean, because they're all in caves, and they're all plotting to take the things from you. They're going to come in here somehow. Now, you would think, wouldn't it be easy to stop them from coming in here if we just didn't let a lot of people come in, if we tightened up security as to who could come in and who could go? Well, that's silly. We can't do that. It's a global world. So then you go, okay, so then what do we have to do to make sure that no one attacks us? Well, we have to go around the world overturning their governments and convincing them all to love us. Oh, that seems so hard. It seems so much easier to just, like, make it harder to get into our country. Well, you'd think that, but actually the best course of action is to just go get these people to really love us and appreciate us. And how do we do that? Attack them. We attack them. What? We bomb their homes and families. And then the ones that are left alive realize how benevolent and good we are because we let corporations go in there and do things. Oh, okay. Has this ever worked? No. Right. Okay. But we got to keep doing it. Yes. Why? For our safety. Yeah. Seems odd.
Owen likes that guy in the chat. Enzo, what's your reaction to him?
Probably one of the stupidest people I've ever listened to talk about anything. I want to know where we were sold that the people in the caves are just going to come to America and fuck us up here. Because I wasn't sold that. I wasn't. I just look at things at a different aspect of Iran is a global trader with Russia as well as China, two of our biggest adversaries, that they supply both of them with oil. By cutting them off with oil stops their ambitions for Taiwan, stops their ambitions for going into Europe, as everybody wants to say, with Russia taking on Ukraine. As well as it stops the entire situation that's going on with Israel and Hamas and Gaza. By stopping Iran, all of this is going to stop, because who's going to keep funding Hamas? Who's going to keep funding the Houthis that are attacking American bases and American ships in the shipping lanes? Who's going to fund all of these things? I'm not looking at it as this is going to affect us directly in America. Yes, I can still tie that in with Venezuela, how Venezuela was letting the Houthis and Hezbollah train, as well as a key partner in rebuilding Iranian their enrichment facilities, as well as their drone capabilities after Midnight Hammer. There's a lot more that goes into it instead of, they're just going to attack us on our shores, and this is another Iraq 2.0. No, it's literally about crippling the two biggest adversaries to the United States in one decisive blow without ever firing a shot in their direction. You take out the head of the snake that's literally feeding these countries. That'll literally stop everything.
Well, people are saying that this is the start of World War III. That's the rumor that they're saying. And people in the chat, they said, I'm literally scared. Well, if you're scared, you might be drafted, but here's how to avoid being drafted.
18 to 25, you are cooked. You going to World War III. If you are 26 to 39, you are still cooked, because the age cap's at 39. You going to World War III. If you have ADHD, you are cooked. You are going to World War III. If you have diabetes,
Jesus,
congratulations,
I keep hitting these
you ain't going
guys.
to World
I'm not
War
liking
III. If
this.
you've ever been put in a mental facility, congratulations, you are not going to World War III. If you are in college, I'm sorry, you are cooked. They actually want you more for the draft because they want to put you in a specialized position. You are going to World War III. If you have a master's degree, you are cooked. If you dropped out of high school, you are safe from World War III. They don't want you. If you are a felon, you are not going to World War III. Now is the best time to be a felon. If you are LGBTQ, I'm sorry, you are cooked. You are still going to World War III. Now, if you're transitioning, you are safe. You are not going to World War III. If you are your only mother's son, I am sorry, you are cooked. You are going to World War III. If you are a woman, you are only half cooked because men are required to go first, but at any time Congress can change legislation if they need more people. If you have kids, you are going to World War III.
Oh,
but if you're
man.
actively pregnant, you are not going to World War III. If you have major depressive disorder or severe anxiety, you got to be able to prove, it got to be documented, or you are cooked. If it's not documented, you going to World War III. Like and comment for part 2.
Oh,
Okay, I
man.
have an idea, guys. I
Well,
have an idea.
hold on 1 second. I want
I
to
got
say
a great
thank you
idea
to
for the
Iron
draft, too.
Cowboy. Thank you so much, Iron Cowboy. Iron Cowboy said, was that last guy a Timu macho man?
Facts. That's exactly what
What's
that
that
was.
mean?
Timu.
You don't know who Macho
Man?
Savage is?
What?
He looks
Like-
like him. He looks like a black version of him.
Yeah, he looks.
Oh,
Looks like a
okay.
Walmart Macho Man. Break into a Slim Jim.
A great value macho man.
Yeah, a great value Macho Man.
So go ahead, Mia. Sorry, I just want to say thank you to our super chatter.
I was gonna say, I feel like, if we're gonna draft anybody for any sort of thing, I feel like we should utilize the people that are in our penitentiaries first. I feel like if you're lifers, why are we
I was
not
just gonna
utilizing
say
you
that.
first?
Thank you.
Like, you're already a killer.
Yes.
You're already a killer, so why not? We're not gonna have to teach you that much. So, like, why are we not utilizing people that are already life without parole? Yet they're in there for life. Like, why would we not utilize people that are already good at hurting others? I feel like that, and to me, that's more intelligent. We should save the college students and empty out the penitentiaries. I mean, it saves the taxpayer money in the long run. And I mean, maybe if they could reform, maybe if we had some law like, you do 8 years and you're good and you do what you're told, maybe we can reform you. I'm just saying, why should we pull college students off campuses when we can empty out the penitentiaries?
I'll tell you why.
I'm going to add to that. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you why it is. In Vietnam, when they drafted people, where they said, go to war or go home, when they went to war, it was a lot of friendly fire. So I don't think you can trust certain people. That's why they want it to be like, hey, I want to go do this, so they feel some type of loyalty. If they were forced to do it, it's like, you know what, I might as well hit old boy and then I don't have to do none of this work. Or a lot of people in Vietnam got killed by friendly fire. I just put it like that.
Hear me out. Who's seen Suicide Squad?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, we have the technology for it. Neuralink. But let's just chip them, and if they go crazy, then bye-bye.
This is like my idea with it is like those type of people, the lifers, the people that have or committed murder and everything like that, put them in their own division and just put them on like the far end of the battlefield, so where they don't have to associate with actual service members or any volunteers from the draft, or I'm sorry, anybody from the draft or anything like that. Let them take themselves out at that fucking point if they want to do that. But to everybody else in prisons, like people that are in there for a couple of years for like white collar crimes or whatever. What?
One of the comments is, imagine Pookie driving $100 million tank.
Oh my God. That'd be fucking hilarious. But like for anybody else that's in jail for like fucking white collar crimes or in there for like a couple of years for like some bullshit, be like, hey, so this is your option. Go to war for X amount of time. And then when you get out, that's it. That's time served. That'll be the rest of your sentence. Let them rehabilitate themselves like that. Like for white collar crimes, like petty little things.
Or what about, we have a bunch of immigrants that are here legally waiting for their American status. I mean, why not streamline them to a green card? Be like, here,
that's
you
already
do
a
4
thing.
years.
Yeah, they do that already. Yeah.
Well, clearly they're not doing it enough because we got like 5 million dudes. So, I mean, they don't even have to speak English. Most people are bilingual. We're good. We can Neuralink them like Lamb Chop said. I mean, at this point in time, why are we not utilizing the men that came over the border that appeared to be healthy if they're crossing the border at this point in time? So why not utilizing them?
or all the ones that we're deporting. If they got a clean record from whatever country that they're from, be like, hey, here's your option. Be deported back to your country or join the military.
Y'all said some movie stuff. Like, I know people in prison, they definitely not about to listen to nobody. They break the rules. They're not about to say, oh, you know what? They in there knife fighting every day.
So they can knife fight somebody that we need them to knife fight.
Yeah, but they're not gonna do what like they're gonna.
No, I understand. I'm just
Give them bounties, Greg. Give them bounties. Be like, hey, listen, we're gonna go put you here for like every X. You get a year off your sentence.
Fucking Kimberly.
Maybe.
Listen, it's wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking.
To go back to that other video real quick, I don't think we're anywhere near World War III. I think 2027 is World War III. I mean, if the intelligence reports that are coming out are true, allegedly we have killed 40 of IRGC's top officials. If that's the case, hopefully that includes the top 5 cabinet, including I think his name's like Linjani or something like that. If that's the case, then this is going to make this entire process a lot easier. I don't think if we do have this entire cabinet eliminated, we have to stay in as long. I think we can let the people do the rest. I mean, the people were so close just a few months ago, right? Hopefully, if we're able to get everybody that are IRGC loyalists out, then
was that it?
Yeah. He paused. Was that it?
Oh yeah, that was it. My bad. I heard the dings. I didn't know.
Oh, okay. Well, this is why Nick Fuentes says we're doing this. Here's his strategy for
boy.
everything. And I want you
This
to
worries
respond,
me.
Lamb. I want you to respond. No, he actually lays this out respectfully.
Okay.
This is this is not a Jew hater clip per se.
Still
left is Iran. Once Iran is out of the picture, Israel dominates the whole region. Israel becomes the only nuclear power in the region. They control the U.S. government. They have immense influence in Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar. They control Syria and Jordan by proxy effectively, and Iraq. With Iran out of the picture, they not only control the Middle East, they control the Suez Canal, the Red Sea, but also the Persian Gulf. All the oil, all the natural gas, all the commerce, all the shipping that goes through the Red Sea, all the shipping and oil that comes from the Persian Gulf, all of the overland trade routes, the rail, the highways, communications infrastructure, the ports situated in this area that go from Asia to Europe, from Africa into Europe and Asia. It's all going to go through a region dominated by Israel. That's the big picture. So the United States has spent trillions of dollars. Thousands have died. We have ruined this region. Refugees have poured into Europe and the United States. They hate us. They will carry out terrorist attacks in our lifetimes because of this. 9/11, all of this has happened. Our domestic situation has worsened. Our country's gone bankrupt. Our military has been drawn into this. We can't focus on our real competitor, which is China, so that we could basically level the region and pave the way for an Israeli empire in the Middle East. That is the big picture here. That's the grand strategic revolution that has occurred, starting with the Likud takeover in the late 1970s. And by the way, I'm not making this up. This is all written. It was all written in Oded Yanan's plan for the 1980s. They wrote, and it is their plan, to create a mosaic of statelets. They wanted to disintegrate all of the big Muslim countries, all of the big Arab countries, all the Middle Eastern countries. A big country, and let's just think simply in terms of geoeconomics, a big country with a big population and a big territory can command a lot of resources. It can make a big army, big cities, big schools and universities with big talent pools. Big countries can field big militaries. They can have big armies with lots of soldiers. They can have large air forces with big defense industries. They can have advanced scientists that make nuclear weapons. Small countries can't. Small countries with small populations, with small economies, cannot do these things. So what Israel decided to do, this is it, this is their plan in the late 70s, is we must disintegrate all the big countries into small countries. That way they can't oppose us. And that's effectively what they've done. Iraq is being cut up as we speak into northern Iraqi Kurdistan, a Shiite area which is sort of controlled by Iran. Syria is being split up into the Alawites on the west coast, the Sunnis in the rest of the country, the Druze in the south, which is being occupied by Israel. In Lebanon, they're trying to divide up the Shiites from the Christians, from the other groups that reside there. The name of the game is destabilization, dismemberment, sectarianism, division, to make the region easily dominated by Israel.
Okay, Lamb. So
I mean,
his point is saying it's Israel. Your friend in the chat, Blaze and Bella. Bella, thank you for watching.
Love you, Bella.
Saying, huh? Yeah,
I was
she's
just saying,
saying,
love you, Bella.
she's saying the opposite. She's saying China. Can you explain to us the counter of this and explain why China plays into this? Because I know everyone doesn't like Nick, but Nick does represent a strong fraction of this ideology in this process. He didn't say anything too hateful, and he explained it. And a lot of people that are not necessarily Jew haters, they do believe that this is part of the greater Israel project. You can be critical of Israel and still love Jewish people. He's the opposite. Let me be clear. I denounce his hateful jokes. Let me be clear. But what he's saying geopolitically, it does make sense to some extent. Tell me the counter, the opposite for the China side.
So China has been getting oil via Iran, and I mean from other Gulf via the Dark Fleet for a while now. Again, we have interdicted and caught them several times doing this. This isn't like news or anything, right? Regarding the whole T attacks thing, I mean, Iran is the biggest sponsor of state-sponsored T organizations. If the IRGC disappears and the IRGC goes bye-bye, so does that money flow. The Reza Pahlavi isn't going to keep giving Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis money. So they're going to have to find somebody else to foot that bill. And I don't think China is willing to do that, especially when they are doing a build-up towards 2027 regarding the takeover of Taiwan. I don't think they're going to risk that. The same reason I don't think they're going to risk getting involved in this situation. They may give Iran weapons, which I wouldn't be shocked if they do. They've been doing it this entire time. Regarding Afghanistan, Iraq, that whole thing, I mean, if it was a part of that playbook, I would have thought that when Afghanistan and Iraq were completely split and all these things and those governments fell, that Israel would have tried to take control of those countries, and they really didn't. I think the big thing and the big question mark is who foots the bill for the H groups now, because the H groups are huge, and if the H groups aren't getting money, the H groups are going to splinter off and faction off, and we'll have like tiny little T organizations, but they won't be as deep and as resourceful and as well organized as they were when they were getting money from Iran.
Makes sense. If you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell. Know when we go live. Was I muted that whole time? Mia, what's your...
we heard you.
We heard you. Oh, is it closing thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, this has been a great episode. If you aren't liking and subscribing, please do definitely subscribe to the channel. Normally we are Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, given the fact that there's airstrikes going on, we are here. And again, thank you, Lamb Chalk, for coming back. It is always a great talk. Hopefully we can see you again and you can make more guest appearances, because I have a feeling this whole geopolitical thing is not going to go away anytime soon. As for Iran, I mean, I guess we're just going to play it. I guess we're going to have to play it by ear. I think there's going to be a power vacuum. I think us destabilizing destabilizing Iran obviously helps us when it comes to the tariff front, but at the same time, I mean, the winner is Israel, and this is us doing their bidding. And I don't understand why we continue to do another country's bidding. I mean, there are starving Americans here, people freezing to death, but yet somehow we always have the money for war. And as somebody that's America first, that upsets me. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Thank you, Mia. Lamb Chop, thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Again, to Mia's point, we definitely need to bring you back. You are a geopolitical expert. What's your closing thoughts, my dear?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. And I'm really honored that you guys would ask. I enjoyed being around. It's a great conversation. I think this is going to be a huge waiting game. Obviously, the next, I would say, probably 72 hours is going to be tell a lot. If we are able to kind of close the chapter on the IRGC's foothold in Iran, then I don't necessarily think that we have to be there for as long. If they're able to survive and appoint people and keep fighting, then it's obviously going to be a longer fight. I'm hopeful, obviously, now with the announcement of the Ayatollah's passing. It's great news for the Iranian people and Iranians everywhere. I'm hopeful that U.S. military will keep staying safe, and I'm hopeful that they're able to keep carrying out attacks and close the chapter on the IRGC.
Thank you, Lamb. Enzo, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are this was a very good episode. Glad that we all got on here to be able to talk about everything that's going on. I'm happy that this is happening for the Iranian people and for selfish reasons, keeping myself up at night, hoping something's going to fucking happen and it never does. And then I end up sleeping the night that it happens. I'm finally happy the United States actually fucking did something. Under Donald Trump, I'm not going to judge the mistakes of previous administrations and say that this is going to be a forever war, occupation, regime change, which turned into a 20-year conflict in the Middle East. Based off of, it took George Bush 8 years in the Middle East, 140,000 troops and 4,000 casualties to topple Saddam Hussein in the Middle East in 2003. Under Donald Trump, and this is from his first term going forward, with 0 casualties, Trump has pulled off 2 toppled dictators, 3 nuclear sites obliterated, multiple oil tankers seized, ISIS leader al-Baghdadi killed, General Soleimani killed, Syria chemical factories destroyed, cartel boats blown out of the water, and Houthi militants neutralized in Yemen. Under just one president. All of this happened with 0 United States Armed Forces casualties. I'm never going to judge anything that has happened in the past compared to what Donald Trump is doing because the numbers don't match up, and how Donald Trump is going about it is completely different than every other president that we've had. So with that being said, I have faith in what's going on. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We'll explore that when the time comes. But with that being said, I hope everybody has a great weekend, and thank you all for showing up to the show.
Thank you. Gray, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are that Congress is going to vote on Trump's war powers, and it's 3 Republicans working with Democrats saying that Trump basically has been using his powers and not going through Congress, where it's their job to create war. So, like we always say on a new party, always vote.
Always vote, guys. So for me, where I'm at, we are 1 year into Trump's administration. And when Trump ran, he said no new wars, and he said America first. At the end of the day, the America First agenda is very simple, guys. It means putting the American worker first. It means securing our border. It means rebuilding our economy. It means keeping our sons and daughters out of endless foreign wars. It means restoring strength, sovereignty, and common sense to this nation. America First doesn't mean we hate anyone. It means we love our country enough to protect it. I love President Trump, but I love this country more. And here's the truth. No political movement survives without a moral foundation, and that foundation must be faith. In times of chaos, division, and uncertainty, we have to remember where our strength truly comes from. Not from Washington, not from political parties, but from God, guys. So above all, let's stay grounded in Christ, because no president saves this country. No party saves this country. Only God does. Keep your faith strong. Keep your conviction stronger. And let's build an America that honors the Lord first, and everything else will follow. Good luck. Stay safe.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the new party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the New Party, always know.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.